10th episode celebrating Zoey's Extraordinary Playlist. I am your host, Rachel Silvestrini. I'm joined with my co-hosts, Maxwell and Lindsey. Guys, how you doing?
I am doing great. How are you today?
I
really like our Monday afternoon showtime.
I know, too. It's so much nicer. I mean, I wish it was a little bit later today because I got my first shot like a baller. Where is it?
Yay.
Oh, I guess it fell. Oh, no, it's right there. I'm like, where in the tattoo?
It just sort of blends perfectly into your ink. It's great.
It's literally the color of my skin. No, I pulled my sleeve up and the guy was like, "Oh, wow." And I'm like, "Yeah, just pick a flower to stab, whichever one's your favorite."
Well,
like,
I have new flowers on me too as of last week, so we're flower buddies.
You do.
Oh.
Yay, flower tattoos. They're so pretty.
Yeah.
So this episode is Zoey's Extraordinary Girls' Night, and I fucking feel like we all need a girls' night out right about now.
Oh, honey, you have no idea how badly I need a girls' night. I feel like we kind of had a girls' day in Orlando a couple weeks ago at the beach.
Yeah.
And what I wouldn't give to go back to that moment and like go, and I'm not the type of person who does this, but I still feel like I want to like go shake my booty and dance it out.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think we all at this point, we're like, the end is so near. The light at the end of the tunnel is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. We're not quite there yet, but like it's that anticipation. It's like, is that like senioritis type of like, oh, let's just get out of here. Yeah. And I think that we all just need to like crank up some music, go to Mo's apartment, and like just fucking dance out all of our frustration and anger and joy.
You know what? I feel like we should end today's episode with an awkward dance party.
I mean,
yes.
I always end my shows with an awkward dance party. And usually it's just me, which makes it even more awkward. But I am all for that. So we start the show right where we ended last episode, and that's with Emily's breakdown. And I don't know how, but they get you right back into that feeling. Like they put you right back into that emotional state. She's not like sobbing. It's like at the end of it, and she's wiping her tears. And like literally my note was, "Oh, Emily, hug." And she gets real like, Zoey's there just comforting her and being so warm and so nice. And I'm not going to lie. I eat when I'm stressed. I eat when I'm bored. So when Emily's like, "I'm going to go make a night quiche," I was like, "Ooh, that sounds really nice. I wonder what she
that cracked me up. The specificity of that statement, "I'm going to go make a night quiche." I was like, that is something I would do. And I had a similar thought, like, the mind boggles at what differentiates a night quiche from a day quiche, and is there an afternoon quiche, and is there a morning quiche? I just want all the quiches.
I want it. Like, does she put like brisket in the night quiche?
You know what would be in my night quiche?
What would be in your night quiche?
Pot.
Ooh.
That would be my night quiche.
That would work.
I would definitely put some pot.
And it's legal here now, so don't come and get me, police.
Hot butter. Oh my God, weed butter would be so great to use in the mix with all of that and just cook everything in it. Oh, it'd be so good. Maybe some like asparagus spears and like some mushrooms.
And not for you because I'm respectful of your veganism, but for me, like just mounds of cheese.
I mean, we've got fake cheese. The fake cheese
is good. Better. Almond cheese.
I mean, I say brisket, but in my head, I'm like, oh yeah, I could totally make that with some like jackfruit, some barbecue sauce. Like there are ways around it, but like
there are
so delicious right now. And I would have legit been like, yeah, let's go make a night quiche and then we'll talk, because
the next time we're all together, we're making a night quiche.
Oh, I'm down.
Should we have a night quiche off?
Ooh.
Oh, I'm not very good, but sure.
It'll be super entertaining. And that's great. And then we wake up the next morning with, Coach Simon barking orders. Why do they keep making him hotter? Like,
I don't understand it. That is John Clarence Stewart is a man.
It's just.
That's all there is to it.
Just my happiness. Yes, I'm with you, Juniper. Yeah, quiches. Quiches are yummy and scrumptious. But yeah, dude, John is just like, what? Why? And then he sings and dances, and then he's like, and then she comes out, she's like, why are you yelling at somebody? And why am I excited about that? And I'm like, girl,
right,
because you're human. and he's wonderful. And we hear him talking about like how much, like, we haven't delved a lot into Simon's family outside of the fact that his dad has passed away, his mother has got remarried in Vegas, and like that's it pretty much for what we know about Simon. So the fact that we are now really getting to know like that he is super close to his family, and he's trying to take on that mantle that his dad left about being the coach for everyone, is incredible. Also, it just adds another layer of like, it makes a lot of sense about his dad, because a lot of the people who cheer people on and are like those positive role models and pushers for other people and see the best in others tend to be like the saddest, like the whole Tears of the Clown thing. So knowing that he was that person, knowing that Simon's dad was that person to him and their whole family makes a lot of sense, especially with the theme of this episode of
the notion that when someone who is close to you leaves and you in whatever context, and then you feel you need to assume that the position or the role that they took in your dynamic is fascinating. And to see that play out, and he's like, my dad was the coach and now I have to take over that mantle, was really interesting. The show, and we'll dive into it with other things, is that the show is continuously impressive as just like an empathy bomb. And it's like, it's television language of exploring these very resonant, deep human themes, and then also making you cackle at ridiculous NSYNC musical numbers. I don't know how they keep pulling it off.
How dare you?
They do.
Ridiculous. How dare you? That is Emmy nominated worthy. It's good. And yeah, we get to see him care, and we see Zoey kind of leaning into him and asking for advice, and she doesn't really ask advice from people that don't know her truth. Like she doesn't really ask her mom for a lot of advice. It doesn't seem like she asks Mo and Max because they know the truth.
Right.
And so I think I think that we're getting closer and closer to Zoey opening up and telling Simon like what's going on, because he drops a bomb later, like kind of insinuating that he knows something's not right. And we'll get to that in a bit. And then we go to Max and Rose. I feel like before there were so many characters, and now I just feel like there's like 10 times more, because we care about the characters individually, and then we kind of care about the couples as a separate entity, and it's like keeping track of 17 different things instead of like 4. But I love it. And we get to see, they touch on the fact that Rose's time in San Francisco is fleeting and coming up apparently soon enough to have them not buy concert tickets, which jelly. I would love to see ads for concert tickets. That would be amazing right now. And so yeah, I love the drop of the iHeartRadio in there, sponsored by. But I didn't. The thing that literally made me like stop the show and like laugh my ass off for this episode particularly was when Max and Rose are talking and that guy walks in and he goes, no socks with flip-flops.
Yes. And then he's like, but it's okay. I'm casual.
I'm casual. Right. I'm not a monster.
That reminds me of like really early on in 30 Rock, where Liz was writing jokes for Jack and she thought the show was that night, and she's like, it's not tonight, you're wearing a tuxedo. And he goes, it's after 6, Lemon. What am I, a farmer?
But it just raises the question of like, in my head, I'm like, I just accepted the fact that is a rule that both Max and Mo have. Like, it's not a Mo rule, it's not a Max rule. Like, that is a Maximo rule. Like, both of them were like, ugh, no.
Honestly, if I may be so bold, I would propagate a no socks and sandals rule uniformly across the universe. I find it offensive to my sensibilities.
Outside of the house, yes.
Yeah, well, what you do in the context and privacy of your own home is fine.
Yeah.
So when Max said that, I was like, he's my people. I get that.
Yeah. And also it's San Francisco, so I kind of get that too. Like, there's so many different layers to that.
Yes.
Made me super happy. Like, I had to pause the show and just like cackle to myself, because I was like, that's Like it's just one of those like sweet little lines that they throw in there. It's like this it's like a sweet little nugget of wonderfulness amongst all of the drama and emotions that are going on.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get to Maggie and Deb.
Oh,
which
Bernie. Peters,
please come to the stage. Just seeing her on screen again just like makes me so happy, and to see her with Maggie and to see them together talking over coffee about how hard it is to be a widow because of the way that your friends don't know how to treat you. And she's also in that like gray area. I think that like with anybody dealing with grief, like it's a hard thing to have people treating you in a way that you're not used to, but also you don't know how you want them to treat you. Like, because your emotions change from minute to minute. And like, sometimes it's like when you have a problem, sometimes you want people just to listen and say, damn, that sucks. And sometimes you want to tell someone your problem and ask for their advice and have them give it to you. And if the reverse happens, it just fucks with you and you get angry. And it's more layered and more complex with grief. So I understand that. And so they're talking about how they want to, Deb wants to take her out. And I'm like, I'm available. I'll be your sober driver. I will drive you places. I will hold your purses. Like, I will fetch your drinks. Like, please let me come and hang out with you ladies.
And I'm not saying the writers of the show watch our little show to get ideas, but how long were we talking about the fact that exactly what she needed was a girls' night with Bernadette Peters to help her get through?
Like, immediately upon the start of the show. I think it was our first episode. We were like, so when's Bernie coming back?
Yeah.
Because we need them together.
100%.
And then we get the first heart song, and that's Make Me Feel My Love. And Zoey goes over to David and Emily's house, and God, fuck you, Mandy Moore. God damn it. There's like 4 counts of like actual dance choreography, and it just tears your heart apart.
The choreography in that scene sort of took my breath away immediately. Like it was very much in the idiom of contemporary dance, very expressive and interpretive, but you could feel every emotion through the way their bodies were connecting. It was so beautifully choreographed.
I think it's also one of the first numbers during a heart song when one person was singing to another when they made eye contact.
Hello, Precious Mackenzie. What a great name.
Well, hi, sweetie.
I love it. I'm obsessed with that name.
I know. I mean, first of all, Precious is just like, it just gives you an air of who you are already.
It does. Like, I already love this person. We're best friends. When are we going clubbing? Let's go.
Also, Mackenzie is like one of my favorite names for a girl. I know it's a last name, I think, because it's Mackenzie, but I still love it. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I think it's the first dance number where they actually made eye contact, and like it's such a powerful thing for that little moment during their dance. And, they barely touch except for him to like hold her head back up, and like it just so heartbreaking, so wonderful. Fucking snaps to Andrew for taking that song to such a beautiful level, and like they're just getting so much better. It's like making me angry.
I know. Oh man.
And then we go.
I feel like the creative team of the show is sort of, and I think when we had Austin on, he sort of implied this, that as the show has evolved, Mandy has become an increasingly important part of the language of the show entirely.
Yeah.
She, and arguably, every episode is directed by someone different. Every episode is written by, obviously there's a writer's room and they break out the story, but then 1 or 2 writers are credited for that episode. But Mandy, she's the constant. Her choreography is the constant. So as much as anyone working on the show, I think she is just an immeasurable influence on the language visually and emotionally of this show. And she keeps finding new and unique ways to really just take my breath away.
Yeah, and even the episode where she didn't choreograph, what was that? It was the one with where we were dealing with the racism at Spark Point.
That episode was called
The Reckoning?
Zoey's Extraordinary Reckoning. I think she did work on it, but they brought in another choreographer to assist.
She helped, but it was very much I from what I read, it was mainly another choreographer, an African American choreographer who did such fucking amazing work. But he wouldn't have been able to tell the story that he did without her laying the groundwork in this setting. And like that's just how magnanimous she is. Like she does the work, she lets go, she lets somebody else shine. And then she just comes back and like it's seamless. They're just so beautifully done together. Sorry, I just lost my notes. Yeah, so I mean the choreography is amazing, but then we get, especially my favorite ones are the little moments, like the head tilt and helping her take her jacket. And
now that we're talking about it, it's interesting that you mention how unique it was that in the Heart song and the choreography, they made eye contact, even though only one of them is in the song and one of them is not. Huh.
Yeah, I love like those little tiny details. Those little tiny details fucking kill me every time because they're so good at putting those in for me. And I love you for that. And I was really excited to see the opening go back to normal with Zoey telling David that he doesn't know shit. I was like, yay!
Yeah.
I don't have to be confused anymore. And then we come back from the commercial break and we find, David in his house jeans, which just spoke to my heart, and my elastic waist yoga pants that I have not worn every day of this thing. Yeah, it's just nice. And then they bring up the check-in chicken dinner, which is like the most adorable. Like, of course you have a check-in chicken,
right?
Like. Of course you do. Your mom is Mary Steenburgen and your dad
is chicken dinner.
Chicken dinner. It's
the chicken dinner.
Like I almost want them to record like a cute little like theme song for it.
Oh yes.
And I think that we need that like at least once every like 2 or 3 episodes.
Yes.
Maybe
like
not
that. Just like random. It doesn't have to be involved in the scene. You just go and be like, oh yeah, chicken. Yes, let's go.
I also feel like people like we need to institute something like that in our friendships because like there are so many people that we've been trying to keep track of over COVID and so many people that you've reconnected with that like there's now your world has opened up a lot more. You're more invested in people and also like you just need to like check in every now and then with the people that you hold dearest. So like, I know that, we do this show and every time that we come on the screen before the show starts, I ask how everyone's doing because like, I want to make sure that everybody's good for this week. And if there's anything we need to talk about and push the show back, cause like, I love you guys and you guys are my friends and family. Like that's what this show brought us together. But like, we're so close on so many different levels that like, you need to have that every now and then, like, hey, how is everything going? Instead of just like, hey, everything good? Cool. So I just really like that. Also, I bond over food. So obviously I'm Italian.
Yes.
Kind of what we do.
There is nothing more more intimate and profound than breaking bread with someone, in my opinion.
It's true.
Like every like incredible conversation or special moment I've shared with someone in one way or another started with a shared meal.
Yeah.
Food is a love language. Cooking for someone is like an ultimate form of care.
Yeah, it's the ultimate act of service and like you're showing somebody that you want them to keep living because you're feeding.
And I love servicing people, Rachel.
I know you do. Wrong show.
That'll be Thursday.
That'll be Thursday.
Okay.
So they bring everybody over for the check-in chicken dinner. And I felt like, again, small detail, but I loved the way that they had the seating because it was David and Zoey on one side and then Maggie and then Emily. And it's like, it felt like a confrontation almost, like not an aggressive one, but like just a simmering layer underneath of like, of course we know that they want to address this, but like it was just so perfectly staged to the point where I was like, oh, this makes me feel uncomfortable. like her husband's not even sitting next to her.
You're right.
Like it's just subtle things like that with the way that they stage things. And then we get our second heart song of the night.
Oh my gosh. I was so excited. Oh my gosh.
She
the music started.
She just
I knew.
like
I just knew.
She just like
she burst through the door.
Through, and it's like, ladies and gentlemen, we are pausing the world because Bernadette Peters is about to perform. And honestly, all I could think in that moment is, remember when Andrew was on our show talking about how he could hear her rehearsing? I was like, so wait, did he hear her singing Sia from his hotel room?
I'm so angry. I was like, just go stand next to her door. Just put the phone up next to her door. Like, that's all I want to hear. But yeah, I mean, and she's Deb, and like, I love that is 100% what her character does. Her character is so bold and body and full of life, and she bursts through doors that are put in her way to help people. And yeah, she does kind of like screw up chicken dinner, but like, you know, she's there for Maggie, you know, she's there to literally be like, nah, bitch, you're gonna feed me and then we're going out. Like, we're gonna eat, you're gonna change, and then we're gonna fucking go to the casino and make up names and be lovely and wonderful. Also,
I will neither confirm nor deny if I have been at a casino before and built fake stories about myself when people ask me who I am and where I'm from.
Oh, if you don't, then you don't belong in a casino. Like,
let's just say the stories of one Mr. Rex Rexroth are legendary.
Oh, well, we all need to go to the casino. All right, let's go.
Yeah.
Yes, I like casinos.
I like casinos too. They're fun. I like the penny slots. I really enjoy those because, like, I also have discovered that I don't win when I play with my own money. I only win when I play with other people's money. Like, I turned $40 from my friend into $800.
Wow.
Sure. I played with $20 of mine and I was done in like 10 minutes. So like, yeah, it's fun. But something that we also get from Deb is the fact that in the middle of her heart song, she stops singing, picks up a bottle of wine, and just fucking throws it back. And I have never felt more excited to grow old than in that moment, because I want to grow up and be Bernadette Peters. Obviously not with the singing chops, because that's never ever gonna fucking happen.
Speak for yourself.
No, I am. I can't sing for shit. You've heard me.
It
comes and goes.
I've heard worse.
So have I.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm really glad. I was actually curious to see if they were going to extend the dinner scene with Deb to see if she was going to like have any insights with Emily, but then I realized like, no, that's not who she is. Like, that's not who she is. That's not the character. Her service is to Maggie. It's not to the entire family. And like, even Zoey got super short with her, and she's like, we're kind of in the middle of something. Can you like get out of here? Yeah. So yeah, so it was interesting to see that dynamic, because before she couldn't get Deb to come over enough for Maggie, and now that they're dealing with Emily, it's just different. And then we get distraction. I feel like Deb. Yeah. And then we get Zoey talking through the progress that they tried to make with Emily with Simon, and he comes over to her apartment with breakfast. He has a key, by the way, if you didn't notice. Simon's got a key to her apartment.
He does.
He walks in, drops the groceries down, finds out that she's like researching the hypothalamus, starts rubbing her feet and talking about a quiet night in, and her brain goes to Emily. I am sorry.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. A gorgeous black man like that rubs my feet and talks to me and gives me great advice that has a key to my apartment? No. we're not leaving the house. Just so great. And then we get one of my favorite things ever. I mean, we've all heard me talk about how much I want this this little spinoff. We get Simon, Mo, and Max together, which
the best trio. And
Yeah.
oh my god,
I'm sure we'll get into it, but the way so we end up with 3 different girls' nights out, and the juxtaposition of the tones and the way they shift was a delight.
yeah,
Yes.
the cutaways, like the way that it just flowed from one, it was abrupt, but it flowed. It was so beautiful. And I think my comment was like, dude, what's that? I was like, the size of that TV. Come on, Mo. They're watching it like this little like
that TV, and
TV.
Mo never watches TV.
No.
Yeah.
But I would feel like she would have, or that Mo would have like a massive collection of like old time movies that they love, you know?
Well, that's why she watches it on that TV, because she really likes to like experience the full aesthetic of the old timey films. Or she just watches them on her laptop, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, it's so funny. And they're there to watch the game. Which I'm like, do any of them actually follow sports? Because
I think Simon does to an extent.
Yeah. I can see Simon.
Max could not have been less interested, because he was just there like scrolling on his phone.
Well, to be fair, he wasn't just like casually.
No,
scrolling.
he was Insta stalking Rose.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because they're all going through such like sad thing, like such tumultuous things in their relationship. Rose is leaving. Zoe's not talking to Simon. And is it Henry? Is that his name that I keep forgetting? Mr. Fire Marshal.
Oh God.
Perry? Is it Perry?
Perry. Yes. Thank you.
Okay, sorry, my Siri just went off. I was like, oh no, wait.
No, Perry and Perry, you know, I did love that scene earlier. We kind of skipped over it with when Perry and Mo were talking, and Mo like openly admitted they were like, you know, I'm not a parent. I didn't understand how serious that issue was with your son and his stuffed animal, and I'm sorry. I'm trying to be better. And it was so succinct. It was so perfect, and like dealt with and then moved on. Like nothing was drawn out from it. And then, you know, Mo invited Perry to bring the kids to church because she's performing. And oh, Jesus Christ. Performance, whenever somebody refers to Mo opening her mouth to sing as a performance, I just feel like it's such like a cheap word for it. Like there has to be something better in order to describe what she does, because it's so powerful. And then we get Maggie and Deb, and the girls' nights kind of start. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. Yeah, we get all of the boys. We get Simon, Mo, and Max hanging over at Mo's, and then they start singing one of my favorite songs, and they start singing "Tearing Up My Heart" by NSYNC, and I am signing the petition to get a full length song cut of this.
Yes.
I also want a music video because I'm
even better. I like this.
I also want like a West Coast tour, or like a 12-city tour, so we can hit up like LA, San Francisco, Seattle, Chicago, New York, Miami. Like it needs to happen.
I was saying before we went live how I feel like every week there's a new number that I'm like, oh, this is my new favorite number in the show. Yes. Tearing Up My Heart was definitely up there. I love boy bands. I thought the like choice of having it be Max, Simon, and Mo singing the song, because each of them were going through the same experience of wanting or needing more from their significant other.
Yeah, and it's so perfect.
Yeah, it was delightful. And then it evolves to like a spa night.
Yes.
Which they had the most girls' night in of all the girls' nights, the 3 men.
Yeah, I mean it just kind of like it's like I think Zoey and Emily had like a girls' night that you have in your 20s, And then Mo, Max, and Simon had the girls' night that you have in your 30s. And then Maggie and Deb had the girls' night that you have like in your 40s and 50s. Like it was like this great like decade progression for women. And I'm like, I understand this all. It makes me very, very happy. But yeah, and then we get Maggie and Deb at the casino, and Deb walks up to the table and they address her by a completely different name. And Maggie, whose first time, bless her heart, basically blatantly lying.
Like, I'm Savannah from Savannah.
Where are you from, Savannah? Savannah?
Like, hello, my name is Brooklyn, and I'm from Brooklyn. I don't know about that. Readers, that doesn't track.
But it's also one of those things that I'm like, it's so obvious how little she lies, because she doesn't know that if you're going to lie, you need to have some knowledge about what you're lying about, or at least have some ability to like skirt the questions and like bullshit your way through it, because Maggie is so pure. She has no experience in that. She's just like starts panicking, and Deb's like, okay, we're going to go get a drink. And they take off, and it's so cute. And then we get Emily showing up at Zoey's, and Zoey is in her PJ pants and fuzzy slippers and oversized hoodie. And Emily comes in and takes off that coat and just...
It's like, all right, I'm ready.
Girl, and she looks great.
You just gave birth 4 fucking months ago.
Yeah.
What the F? That's not okay. She's stunning. She's just stupid stunning. She's just beautiful. And then she's like, oh no. And I love the fact that she doesn't just roll over and is like, okay, we can just stay in. She's like, no. Yeah. Mama needs this. And I'm like, yeah, you do. I just find it really interesting though. Like, one small criticism about the writing though is that, or my personal concern is the fact that they make Zoey so intuitive sometimes and then so not in others. Like,
well, I think her intuition is only as it relates to the heart songs. And I think that's one of her big character flaws. And I'm not saying flaws in terms of the writing, but flaws in terms of her as a person.
Yeah.
Is I feel like if this were my show, I would work towards a goal of her being able to be in touch with her ability to read people's emotions and her intuition without having to rely on the heart songs. Like, let's say in an ideal world, if the show gets a couple more seasons, which hopefully it does, I feel like the ultimate finale is she can no longer hear the heart songs, but her journey through the heart songs is her ability to connect to people, to use her empathy, and to use her intuition to read them without having to rely on the music.
Yeah. I mean, ideally that would be the circle for the her character arc.
So if you're watching Austin and you want help,
there you go.
I'm your guy.
I mean, I think at this point, Austin is just like sick of me sending him the links.
Oh, sure.
He's like, oh my God, we get it. You love the show.
I'm honestly a little sick of you sending me the links, and I'm committed to be here. I'm kidding.
You love it. But yeah, it's real sweet.
There's nowhere I'd rather be.
Obviously. I just, yeah. And I love the fact that Emily's like, no, I'm going out. I'm going to pump and dump and we're going to drink. Like, that's how tonight is going. And I'm like, yes, girl. Like, maybe just because I have a lot of friends who have had kids and like, I come from a very large family. So like, I've been around pregnant women a lot. So like, I know that like 4 to 6 months after you have a kid, it's right in that sweet spot where I'm like, hey, let's go get a drink. And they're like, oh my God, yes. Just to be around adults and to like wear a bra and like pants again, you know, like it's so nice.
Her bra didn't really matter considering she leaked everywhere.
Well, yeah, I mean, to be fair, I don't think she was wearing one, but
maybe
yeah,
not.
And I love the way that they handled that too. Like, it's such a beautiful, like tiny little moment again,
right?
Of like, this is actually something that women go through is after birth. You know, their bodies are, you know, they might feel a little messed up because of like the pregnancy or just the birth, the whole thing. You don't feel like yourself. You're sleep deprived. You're hungry. You're angry. You're sad. You're happy. Like everything at the same thing is crashing down on you. And then you get betrayed by your body. Like the one time that you get to go out because you're breasts are leaking milk. But I love
Look,
the
if I
fact
had
that
$1 for every time I was out in public and my breast started leaking milk, I wouldn't have to be here.
sympathetic lactation, baby, happens to the best of us.
I have nipples, Greg. Can you milk me? I don't know. Why don't you come over here and try?
Wrong show. Thursday.
Okay.
Yeah, so we get and then we go back to Mo's apartment. Like the cutscenes are so quick. Like there's just like little flashes of what's going on in each girls' night at this point. And then we go back and we get Auntie Momo time, and I'm like, I want Auntie Momo time.
I know.
Like, can we just lay around her apartment? Like, I'll lay on the floor, and they all have like the masks on, and they're having like really. I love the way that they keep doing this. Is they keep showing the emotional vulnerability of these men who are friends, but also like were at one point rivals for Zoey, and like that's not something that they're letting get in their way of being friends. So I really, really love and appreciate that they keep that going through. And then fucking Emily's body rolls and shots. Like, she's like, let's go body roll. I'm like, oh, you are a product of the late 90s. Oh
yeah, she was living her best, like, she's all that, can't hardly wait life. Just trying to like hold on to it in these moments. You do you have fun.
Oh yeah. I was literally waiting for Can't Get Enough of You, Baby to start playing in the club.
Can't get enough of you, baby. Sorry, I don't want to get struck down.
And then they go back. We go back to the casino after a few more cuts to see what everybody else is doing. And we see. I gotta say, I love the second lie that Maggie tells about them being like. Caught my breath in my throat, laughing so hard. Telling everybody at the crabs table that Deb just got out of prison for murder. And she's like, just kidding, it's tax evasion, but I had you guys. Like, oh my God. But like, this is the Maggie. Like, this is good. I like this Maggie. She's just there to have fun. She's busting balls. Yeah, it's so good. And then we get another just beautiful scene in a club bathroom, go figure, between Emily and Zoey. And Zoey, Emily's got a pump because she's leaking through her shirt. So she has to pump and dump. And then she's like locked in the bathroom, which is such a beautiful kind of metaphor because like a bathroom stall isn't completely closed off. Like there's still ways to get out, but you have to work for it. And maybe I'm just reading too much into it, but like, I really love that analogy. And then like, she just breaks down and Emily doesn't like, she hears, like, I think she finally like actually hears the words that Zoe's saying about how she's there for her and how, she doesn't have to go through this alone and she's, she can lean on her. And I just remember writing this, feeling bad and not wanting to put your issues and struggles on someone else is hard. Like it's incredibly hard to do that in normal situations, but especially like, with the issues that, that they were going through at the time with losing their dad. And the choreography, this is another thing that I'm so glad that stuff like this is being dealt with at this stage of the progression of the show, because the dance that was performed between Mandy's choreography and the camera was one of the most beautiful portrayals, because they could have just put in like, they could have done like an open shot of like the bathroom and like shown Alice dancing around as Emily like in there. But instead it almost felt like the camera was a second dancer in all of it and doing the aerial shots and going into the stall and turning around Emily and coming back out and showing Zoey. And like, it was like the most ghost-like pas de deux. And it just like made my heart happy because Mandy is goddamn genius. And I love just the way that everybody works together on the show. Like you can tell that there's no way that Mandy did her choreography separately. And then like the director was like, okay, let's see what the dance is. Okay, let's try and do this and this and this. Like you could tell that like they kind of collaborated and they were like, yeah, you should get this aerial shot and then we can come down and then like, oh, we can make that a high kick instead of a low kick. So you can get underneath the leg for this shot and blah, blah, blah. Like it just, collaboration just gives me a hard on. It's fine.
I love the notion of a potted dough with human and a camera. That's such a wow. You're a genius, Rachel. Look at you go.
I like to analyze, and I like dance. And then they get back to Zoe's, and Emily has calmed down, and she's in her PJs, and she's got her water, and she finally really opens up to Zoey, and it's honest and brutal and vulnerable and just so delicate. Like I would love to just be a fly on the wall in the writer room and like just hear how they come up with the words that they do and see what process they go through to write these things. And yeah, dude, the song was Gasoline by Halsey that Emily sings in the bathroom, and it's literally comparing her to a machine and how she doesn't know how to work anymore. And just breaking down, and it's so like the imagery and this, it's just stunning. Oh God.
Yeah. Because I've never heard that song before, so I was blown away.
I've heard it, but never with as great as a song could be when you have the added context of the emotional catharsis the character is going through. It just makes it all the more powerful. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, I'm with you, Precious. Like, first of all, I think we all cry at every scene. At least I do, and I am not ashamed. This show makes me cry in so many different ways for so many different reasons. And watching that happen, like, it's just so hard. It's especially hard to watch somebody that you love and care about go through something like that and know that you can help them or you want to help them and you can't get through to them. And so it's just, so stunning.
People put up their own roadblocks and they don't allow the help. They don't allow people with the best of intentions to get through and help them.
Yeah. And it's hard. Like I am that person. I'm the one who cares for everybody. I don't know how to take help. I don't know how to ask for help. Like that doesn't exist in my world. And it
you know that you can always ask me for help, right?
I know I can. It's the words forming out of my throat into my mouth. It's just a hard thing for me to accept. And it's something
so many things I could say to what you just said, but I'll save it for Thursday.
Save it for Thursday. For those who don't know, Max is coming on my show on Thursday for Movies, Music, and Mayhem. That's what we're referencing, and we're going to get real. And like just another nod to the care with which every issue that this show addresses is given. Everything that they address is so important, whether it's the racism, grief, postpartum depression, relationships of every kind, whether it's familial, friendship, or romantic. It's just handled with such perfection and care. And I love you guys for that. And then we get one of the last scenes, and oh my God, I think my note here says, yes, everyone in this episode needs to go to church. Like,
what's so funny to me is, obviously Austin, the creator writer of the show, is Jewish, and we talked about that when he was on the show. And I sort of feel like, although they haven't been explicit about it, I get a very Jewish vibe from Zoey and her family. Yeah. I mean, you don't cast Mary Steenburgen, Andrew Leeds, Peter Gallagher, and Jane Levy to be a non-Jewish family, but
they're Episcopalian.
I think there is some power to the notion that, take me to church. And now, of course, the Hozier song is playing in my head, but it's not about God or religion. It's just about the sanctity of being together and, Alex Newell. Alex fucking Newell is just
Newell.
extraordinary. And I love these moments where he gets to perform, not a heart song, but actually show his talents to the characters around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I see Roger's comment. I do
Yeah.
want to address that. Because last week we were sort of talking about how I felt that
That's kind of like the big question of the episode.
I could see that sort of being like the ending point of the season is Zoey tells him and he doesn't receive it well because he will feel betrayed.
I mean, Max did too, and they were
Yeah.
together for a while. Sorry. I do that a lot. I apologize. No, well, we can talk about that in super depth. I just want to finish this with Alex / Mo, and then the end because we're like right there at the end of the episode. And like, so we see that Perry and his children are in attendance, and Simon and Zoey are sitting in the aisle, and like, girl, I've been there. Sometimes, like, I'm not a religious person. There's we can get into that later, but like, there's just something about I've gone to Jewish temples. I've gone to go figure. I've gone to every sort of type of service, religious based, that's pretty much out there that I've had the opportunity to go to, and it amazes me how every time I go, there's always a message that like affects me. And so like, regardless of the religion, like whatever they talk about, it's literally something I'm going through. And it's just one of those magical spiritual things. And so I love the fact that when they get in there and the priest comes out and starts talking about, leaning on people, like, who do you lean on? Like, you need to have people in your life that you can lean on aside from God. That was their message. And like, I 100% believe that, like, no matter how strong your faith may be in whatever entity you believe in, like the people here on earth, shoulder to shoulder with you, are the ones that are really going to be there to physically hold your hand and like give you a hug and like give you a shot if that's what you need. Like those are the people that you like, those are the things that you really need to invest in as well. And she just starts, tearing up a little bit. And then fucking Alex opens his mouth and releases, I will say this, the best version of I Look to You by Whitney Houston. Even I actually would love to hear a full version of this because I'm 100% convinced that it's better than Whitney's.
I'm not going to deny.
I mean, and that dress. Alex, when are we going shopping? Because I just need, or whoever dresses you, I don't care. I just need your entire wardrobe from this season and last. I would really, really appreciate that. I would. They're just stunning. And
I want Mo to decorate my apartment.
I just want Mo in my life. Like, yes. Can we be best friends? Can you live across the hall from me? I would really, really enjoy that. That sounds glorious. Please and thank you.
Yeah.
And then we find out that, and then we cut to the scene. We get Mo being introduced to Perry's kids. She does start laying it on a little bit thick. She's like, "Can you say platonic?" And he's like, "All right."
Yeah. Like, friend? Okay.
That's how we're going. Baby
I think they're smart enough to know.
Oh yeah. Yeah. The kids are so fucking smart, especially in this day and age. Like, oh my God. So yeah, it was really cute to see that happen, like to see them progress. I mean, and I love the fact that they're taking it slow. Like nobody's rushing into it. She didn't meet his kids after like the first time that they hung out. Like they're not calling her Auntie Momo. Like they're taking it nice and slow and
Auntie Momo.
Auntie Momo. If I'm Auntie Ray Ray and she's Auntie Momo, I feel a clothing line coming on. Ray Ray and Momo. That sounds amazing. And then we get Max talking to Rose before the end of the episode, and he like, can you just stop making the men in this show so fucking perfect? Because he gives her the lanyard, and I was like, "Are you serious? You saved that from camp?" And then we find out later that he made it that day, and I'm like, I still remember how to make those. Like, do you guys remember that?
The men in the show make all other men look bad, which, to be fair, doesn't require a lot of work because men are trash.
It's true, for the most part.
For the most part, like 99.999% of men are trash. Sorry, guys.
We know some gems in our lives that I can 100% vouch for, that I think all three of us can be like, give a sign of approval for. But yeah, on the whole, men are not great creatures. Whatever. And so I love the fact that they were. It also like infuriates me, the fact that Max and Rose are so perfect for each other, and they were both like trying to play it cool. And I'm like, no, please stop playing it cool. Like, just be in a relationship together, please. Like, don't fuck this up because you're being stupid. And they don't. They both, tell each other how much they like each other. They're going to try and make it work long distance, which I'm really excited. Maybe Max goes to New York and we get an episode there. That would be really fun. And then we get Emily coming in and talking to David and telling him exactly what's going on, how she's afraid that she has postpartum depression and that she needs help. And his response, like not just verbally, but like in his body language and his facial expression, was just, okay. Yes, I want you to be better. I want to do everything I can to help you be better. Yes. Whatever you need. Yes. And he's just so great. Like, they are 100% goals. And I don't want kids. But like that relationship, that like super supportive, like mutual relationship, is just stunning. Then we get something that I'm a little questioning about. It shows Maggie back at the tables.
Yes.
Alone.
At first, I thought they had made an editing choice where the timing was off and she was still there. But then when I realized, she went back, I was like, I wonder what they're setting up here. Is she gonna become addicted to camp? I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah. I mean, does she start drinking? Does she, have this whole other life aside from her family, which I support as long as it's not like...
She needs a healthy outlet.
She does, but also like, or do we get like a new version of Maggie where she's just like a card shark and like competing in the World Series of Poker? Because I would be okay with that. But the tone of the scene didn't really give that much of a lighthearted thing, because she shows up at the table, and the dealer like calls her by her fake name, and she's like, "No, my name's Maggie," and like sits down to play, and like she's not really smiling. She's not really doesn't look like she's there to have a good time. It like just looks like she's there to like be there and not at her house.
Yeah, Roger said at least she was honest about her name at that point. That's true.
It's true, but it also leads you to like question like, what are her motives for being there and being honest with these people that she doesn't necessarily owe honesty to, because I find that when people start to spiral, they are honest to the people that don't deserve it, and they're dishonest to the people that deserve it. So it's a very slippery slope for her to go down on. I'm just watching Maggie from a distance. Please treat her well.
The restraint I'm using right now.
Yeah.
And you're trying to trap me, Rachel?
No. And then we end with one of the most encouraging scenes, which is something that I think we've all been pulling for the last, 24 episodes, 22, 23, whatever episodes. We see, oh my God, what is his name?
Oscar Nunez.
Yeah, we see Oscar from The Office.
From The Office, which is great casting.
Perfect casting.
But I have to say, when we first saw him and it became, I was like, oh, he's a therapist. I thought it was going to be Emily.
I did. I think that's what everybody thought. And I love the way that they did that too. And the camera pans and it ends on
and just the way he so calmly says, "What brings you in today?" I was like, this is going to be good. Because I remember seeing an article a couple weeks ago or longer that he had been cast in the show.
Yeah.
But I didn't remember who he was playing.
Yeah, it's really nice to see him. I hope he plays a big role in the last few episodes of the season.
I think he will.
Because she's got a lot she's got to go through, because she has to figure out a way to tell somebody who is not related to her or who initially cares about her superpower, which she initially comes out and says. And I was like, in my head, I'm like, whoa, sweetie, they can still put you in a psych ward for 72 hours, like without your permission. Like maybe pull back a little bit on that. But she very, upfront tells him, I have these superpowers and I think they're ruining my life. Which I think is a bit of an over-exaggeration, but because her life is pretty decent as of where we are right now. She's just stressing about Simon, I think, and it's really starting to eat at her. And that's where it ends. I did not see the cut scene for next week. If anybody saw that, okay, yeah,
I watched the episode on Hulu, not on TV last night, so I didn't have the next week on.
Yeah, I haven't either, so it'll be really interesting to see what's coming up next week.
I kind of like not knowing.
Yeah,
I kind of too, but I'm also just like, I love this stuff so much, so I'm like, give me all of it.
I want to address one comment that was earlier. I think Roger said something to the effect of he feels Simon will take the revelation about Zoe's powers better than Max did because way he already knows. I'm not sure if they... Go ahead.
I think he obviously brings it up during the boys' night in, and like brings it up and is like something's going on with Zoe, and it feels like she can like see right to the heart of you and like knows what you're thinking, and like their reactions were very like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. But like the fact that he can kind of feel that something's not necessarily off but different. I will tell you this, even if I felt this way about somebody and their ability to like have insight into what I'm feeling and doing and going through, I don't think I would ever in a million years assume that they can hear my inner thoughts expressed through music and dance. So I think that regardless of how in tune he is to the possibility of her having like some sort of ability, like it's still going to throw him for a massive loop.
Right. And what I was going to say was, I don't know, because part of me does feel like somehow he knows, but also so much of the foundation and basis of their relationship was him being like, wow, this woman really understands me. And so to find out that was for some, I don't want to say nefarious, but supernatural reason, however you want to describe it, could fuck him up. I don't know.
Yeah, it's... Whoa. What do you mean the next episode isn't for a few weeks?
Yeah, the next episode's May 2nd.
Oh, they're killing me, Smalls.
So there's no episode. I think it's just, is that just 1 week off or 2?
2.
2 weeks. No, just 1 week with no episode.
Oh, wait. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. So maybe because next Sunday's the Oscars, so they didn't want to have an episode, maybe.
Yeah. It's
gotcha.
Yeah. That's fair. I think it's going to be, I think we've all agreed that that's how we're thinking that the season is going to end, with her telling Simon. And I mean, nobody would ever take that news well, especially with the fact that their entire relationship, it starts on the basis of the fact that she spoke to him for the first time because she heard his heart song. Like, it's the whole reason they're together. Like it was the lighting match that started their relationship. Now they had a lot in common, and she did have a lot of insight on her own without using her powers. But it's still one of those really interesting things of, oh shit, did I freeze?
A little bit.
Okay. But yeah, I think it's gonna be tumultuous. Nothing in life is easy, and I mean something of this magnitude. I think it's gonna crush him for a while. I think we're gonna come back hopefully with season 3. Knock on wood.
We need it.
Yeah, if you guys at home and girls and wonderful people see any polls on websites that are like, what show do you most want to see come back for another season, please vote for Zoey's, because unfortunately I think it probably is a bubble show, and I can't imagine with all these lavish musical numbers it's cheap to produce, and the ratings are steady but not great. So hopefully we get more. I think NBC probably sees the value in this like critically acclaimed, beloved show that's getting some award nominations and stuff. So hopefully they'll keep it going around. But
And they deserve all of the nominations.
They
oh
do.
my God, all of it. Yeah. We need all of this show. The show definitely needs to exist. I think that I actually took one of those quizzes, and it was like, what show do you want to keep around? And then like it asks like why you want to keep around that one show that you picked. And I was like, honestly, this is something that the American people need. It's the only show out there like it. It's musical and beautiful, and it addresses issues in such a unique and wonderful way. Like I think I wrote like an entire dissertation of like just vomiting love onto my keyboard and being like, keep this please. It's legitimately one of the best shows I've ever seen, if not the most important emotionally that I've ever watched. So yeah. So what do you think? What do you guys think is coming up next week?
I don't know.
Or the next episode, I should say.
I agree, Juniper. I was a huge fan of Timeless, but I'm glad they at least got to make their sort of wrap-up movie.
Wait, where am I looking? Why aren't I seeing this?
Comment, you mean?
Oh yeah, 100%.
I'm so used to being able to drive in StreamYard, and I can't drive in this one. So.
Oh, that's where it is.
Okay,
Roger,
USA Today. There we go.
If you know the link, put it in the chat, and we'll make sure and put that into the description of the video as well. I just was massively rushed for today's show, which I apologize for. But I think that because we know that Rose is leaving, I think they're going to flash forward a few more weeks, and I think she'll either be departing and like they're really dealing with like her leaving, or she's already gone and back in New York.
Right.
I would love to see Max and Mo go to New York and visit, just so I can see Mo in New York at Don't Tell Mama. Please, dear God.
Or Marie's Crisis.
Oh my God. Or 54 Below. Like
all my places.
Yeah, please. Just please make this happen. I just want to see her in a smoky in a piano bar in New York singing show tunes with like.
Hey Rachel, we've been to Don't Tell Mama together.
We have. It was so much fun.
It was fun.
40-year-old women.
And it was the coldest night ever. Remember how cold it was that night? It was freezing.
It was 18 below with a wind chill that made it -32.
Yeah, we went outside. We were like, oh.
We had to walk. We went out to this beautiful dinner, and then we walked like four blocks to Don't Tell Mama, and I was like, I am not shepherding you guys. I am going straight there. I do not care if you cross the street and like slip and fall. I'm freezing. My California blood has crystallized.
Very cold.
I need warmth.
And I have a high tolerance for the cold. Like I love the winter, but that night was frigid.
No one was out.
I think PJ was like ice.
Yeah.
He couldn't move his limbs or digits.
Yeah, it took us a good like 10-20 minutes inside Don't Tell Mamas to like thaw out and like actually be able to put our hands around a cup.
I'm gonna need you to bring me the hottest drink you have, please.
Can we get 17 hot toddies, please? Thank you. Yeah, so I think they're dealing. I think that's gonna happen. I hope that Mo and Perry's relationship keeps progressing, and I would love to see. I would love to see the kids, knowing what we know about Perry's son. I would love to see his kids sing with Mo, whether it's a heart song or not. I want that collaboration. I don't know. I think Simon's gonna start to like. He's gonna keep increasing like his awareness he's gonna start picking up on more and more things, like how he stops in the middle of sentences to hear something that's not there, because she always asks too, like if you like most of the time she's like, do you hear that? Like when they were at dinner and she starts hearing what was it, Cheap Thrills being sung by Deb, she literally stops and goes, like tilts her head to get a better listen, and then goes, I'll be right back. Like Like she's not like trying to hear a faint doorbell. Like the doorbell would ring and everyone would hear it. Like, so she does these things that like are really telling that Simon's not a stupid man. He picks up on it. He's observant and wonderful and caring. And I hope he doesn't get his heart broken too badly. What else is going on? Oh, I want to get back to Spark Point too. Like we did not deal with Spark Point at all.
Yeah, there was no lay for oh my god.
Tabenzi
this week. Yes, thank you.
We're trying guys.
Make Tabenzi happen. Oh wow.
Tabenzi.
Catherine said, "What if Simon hears songs too?" Could you imagine?
That
I kind of just got chilled at the notion of that.
Wait. Oh, I mean that would be amazing, but that just feels like a little pushy. Like that just feels like a little too convenient for the writing staff. Like,
yeah, I don't think that's gonna. Now,
the writers weren't that lazy, but I like.
So they've done a couple episodes now where there's been a shift in the heart songs, like where the people were singing the wrong songs, or where it was Zoey. So if there were an episode where, say, Simon could hear heart songs just for that episode, where somehow Zoey could transfer her powers, that I would like. But if he had been hearing heart songs this whole time, it would be a bit of a contrivance.
Yeah, it would be.
I would go with it because I think they would write it well. But
like if they got in a car accident and had like a Freaky Friday moment, like that would be very interesting to see if they could like spin that. Writers, your challenge. Choose to accept it. It would be really interesting to see if that could happen because they're not like, I don't feel like they're powers that Zoey could transfer. Like it doesn't feel like that. Like it just feels like somebody is like, hey, you need help with this. Here's your power. By the way, you're ignoring Emily, so I'm going to fuck with you and I'm going to mix up all the songs and then you're fine. Okay, great. I don't know if that's true. I mean, I feel like they all have different powers. Like Mo is definitely like a super empath, I feel. And everybody's just super, I think, I don't know. It would be, I feel like they're like, if they add powers to anybody else, it would be borderline like one of those superhero shows. Like it would be like they were trying to be like Marvel. And I just don't know if I could get it.
I don't think that's going to happen. I think that would be out of tune with everything they've been doing so far.
Yeah.
But pun intended. But we'll see.
A flat. But yeah, and I would love to get back to
that was a little pitchy, dog.
Yeah. That'd be so great. But yeah, I want to get back to Spark Point. I want to like still dealing. They kind of addressed it a little bit with what Simon's new role is, or one of his newer roles in the company are with like helping find a more diverse team. Although it was really bittersweet when he was like, yeah, I'm trying to help them find a more diverse team for, oh my God, what are they called? It just went right out of my brain. The guys in charge at the big table. What are they called? They're like managers at the very head. Like the room where he was kept out. Anyway, moving on. But I found it really interesting that like they were trying to help him. Like his job was trying to help them find people to be in that room and didn't invite him to be in the room. You know, like, okay. It's just very, and like the way that he said it and his facial expression, like you could tell that, like, I could tell anyways that like, or I assume that like it was something that he was dealing with internally as well, of being like, great.
Oh yeah, the board of directors.
Board of directors. Thank you, Brandy. My brain.
My mind.
Thank you, guys. I got my first shot today. Pfizer's like not letting me think straight. But yeah, the board of directors. But you could tell that I could tell that it was something that like he was like, hey, help us make this better, but don't be a part of it. And like I could feel a little resentment there. And I also obviously I want more Tobin and I want more Mackenzie and I want more Leif. We've been missing Leif lately, and
I'll say this.
It's a sweater vest.
As much as I want to see all of these characters again, from a logistical standpoint, you know, and keeping in mind that all of them were up to series regulars this year after being guests last year, it is a way, they sign a contract for 9 or 10 episodes, so their salary is reduced, so the budget doesn't like balloon like crazy. So I get it. And if that means we get more seasons, if they do these ways and sign these contracts to keep people not in every episode, so they don't have to, I'm okay with it.
Well, we've established that I'm a greedy bitch. So I just want all of the stories of all of the characters that they've given me to love. They're just doing such a great job. Like, this is what you deal with when you do a great job. You get greedy Rachel tweeting at you, being like, "Hey, when are we going to get this? When are we going to get this?" Any closing thoughts for you guys for this episode, and then we'll go on to the heart songs.
No, just another really good episode.
Yep. I loved in the beginning when he was talking to Emily about ice cream sandwiches. How it was like, do we get the minis or like the full? I'll just get them both. I was like, yes, please get them both. I will eat all of them at the same time. It would be great.
I mean, you could tell that he went through pregnancy with her, because he's like, I'm going to get both, but like, not just like, I'm going to get both to appease you. He was like, I'm going to get both because now we both get to eat everything.
Yes.
That's sympathy weight. Yeah. It's great. It's just another layer of wonderfulness of why we all love this show. And then we're going to do our heart songs. This is like one of my favorite things ever, is to do our heart songs in regards to the show themes. And so this one, I kind of got the theme of, like leaning on people and relying on the people in your life to kind of be there for you and to reach out that hand if you need help. Lindsey, what is your heart song?
Well, mine's a little different, but I chose kind of like a pump up song. Oh, there's Siri again. I'm so sorry. I need to turn her off.
Listen, Siri, stop interrupting Lindsey when she's talking. It's rude, and I don't appreciate it.
Siri will get to your heart song next. It's fine.
He's like, I have something to say.
Yes. But I chose Good as Hell by Lizzo because it's just brings people together to have fun, and you just feel good as hell together, and you just want to go out and party. And even if you don't feel good as hell, you play that song and you do feel good as hell. So it takes some time for you to connect with everybody, and then if something is up, that's an opportunity to talk about it. So yeah,
I love that. Max, what's your heart song?
So I thought about it, and I'm gonna go with From Now On from The Greatest Showman.
Shut up.
Not only is it just
one.
Such a great song, but I think it's just like so empowering about how you can, when you build a little community together, you can rely on them to help lift you up and find out what needs to be next for you. And yeah, it's also like become a TikTok song, and all the dancing and choreography is amazing, but that song is so fun and so great and uplifting too.
You son of a bitch. So good.
Sorry.
Oh man.
No, I love that song. That song literally makes me tear up every time I listen to it. And then every time I watch it, I'm always like, there's my friend Alex. There he is. There he is. Because he dances and I love him.
Oh, Alex, Alex Wong?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah, he was in Newsies when I worked the Broadway show. He and Ryan Steele would stretch out on the staircase next to me, and my
Ryan Steele still does the best pirouettes I've ever seen in my life.
Ryan Steele is a gift. Like, this is how I know that God is either a gay man or a straight woman, because nobody would create a human being like Ryan Steele unless that was their oh my God, or
John Clarence Stewart for that matter.
But when you watch Ryan Steele dance, like this can turn into a Ryan Steele love fest for a hot second, because he is one of the most talented human beings on the face of the planet. And one of those people that when you watch him dance, you kind of get this, like, I could see, like, I could forgive him being a dick in real life if that's who he is, but he's not. He's like the most amazing, patient, caring, wonderful human being, bless you, that I had the pleasure of getting to with when I was out on American in Paris. He was our Jerry understudy, and just like, he's just like a golden retriever puppy. You just want him to curl up in your lap and like
and wildly talented. And it makes me angry.
He does things that are like I don't think are actually physically possible. Yeah, just watch the live version of Newsies that they recorded that's on Netflix. I believe it's also
I think it's on Disney Plus.
Now, but it's Ryan Steele's so great. But they used to stretch out on the staircase next to me while I was counting in Newsies merch. But yeah, anyway, my song it's pretty stereotypical. It's Lean on Me by Bill Withers. I just feel like, you know, everybody needs somebody to lean on. And, you know,
it's great track.
Especially if that's you, if you're the person that people lean on, you're the one who needs to have somebody to lean on the most. You take a page out of Zoey's book, get that help, go talk to somebody who's professional. Because I know that feeling of feeling guilty of turning around, and it's what Alice was going, or it's what Emily was going through about how, you know, with the postpartum depression, it hit a few months after Mitch died, and she didn't want to burden her husband with who was going through his own stages of grief with even more things to deal with. And I understand that, but like also fucking David and Emily are just goals in support and love and wonderfulness and communication and just sweet babies. So yeah, so I love somebody to lean on me, and somebody to lean on. And it's such a beautiful song, and like everybody knows it, and it you know it's really heartfelt, and then it like gets that up tempo, and you just start dancing, and like you realize that everything's gonna be okay. Yes, girl, I get it. Heart songs, it's hard to narrow them down. It really, really is. Ooh, Kaylee, I like that. Imperfection by Evanescence. That's a really good one. I haven't listened to that song in forever. Yeah, Evanescence was a big junior high, middle school listen for, well, probably everybody, but still.
I have a different heart song for pretty much every second of the day. I just went with the one that felt right in this moment. Juniper.
Yeah.
728.
Yeah, it's hard to narrow it down from time to time.
Yeah. It is hard to narrow it down.
Puts a strain on you. But yeah, I mean, even when we talk about this before the show starts, we're like trying to narrow down the theme so it will help us narrow down like the songs. Like even that's tough. All right, well, this has been a great episode, and I love talking about it with you guys. I'm sad that we have to wait 2 more weeks until another episode. But we will be back on Monday what is that now?
3rd.
Monday the 3rd? Monday the 3rd
at
1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern time. Lindsey, why don't you tell the kids where they can find you?
You can find me at New Blondie on Instagram, Facebook. Sorry, there's a fly. I play on Facebook Gaming, and I am going to start my own New Blondie at the arcade on TikTok. So
awesome.
I'm going to go to the arcade and play some games. So it's going to be fun. Well, yeah.
That's awesome.
Awesome. And Maxwell, where can the kids find you?
Okay, so you can find me on Twitter and Letterboxd at CinemaXwell, Instagram at CinemaXwell Inc. Wednesday, I'm on 2 different shows. At 6 Eastern, I'm on Fantasy Film Fights with Peggy Gubbins. We're doing a draft of our favorite dance movies. And then later that night, I am making my return and competing again on Schmo Me the Money. It is a rematch between Amber Coates and I. She beat me by 1 point last time, so I'm coming for blood. And then Thursday, I'll be back here on this channel where I'm the guest on Movies, Music, and Mayhem. And if you've ever seen a Pajukin, where you can also find me, the PJ Camel Network on YouTube, youtube.com/PJ Camel Network, a Pajukin member on Music, Movies, and Mayhem will probably go for 6 hours, and all the rest of the gang will show up after our like 90 minutes of interview. So brace yourselves. It's going to be a night.
Yeah, this is the week of Rachel and Maxwell, because not only is Maxwell on Wednesday for the dance draft movies, I will be participating in that as well.
Oh, will you? Oh, I didn't even know. That's so exciting. That's great. Also, you'll be able to find me competing in the FCL next month. I can't say exactly when or what yet, but keep your eyes peeled for that. A lot of fun stuff coming up. Yeah,
dude, just follow him.
Will you look at Amber in the chat, for God's sakes? I will win. Thanks. I will accept the StreamYard link then. Oh my god, so presumptuous.
Oh, but that hair is so fucking cute. Oh, I hate you so much. You're so beautiful. Wonderful. Oh, look, a plug list from Maxwell. I mean, to be fair, let me warm up my vocal cords. So you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at RM Silvestrini. You can find me Wednesday with Max on PJ Campbell's. On Peggy Gubbins' show. What's the name of it again?
Fantasy Film Fights.
Fantasy Film Fights, and we'll be drafting our favorite dance movies, which is going to get real bloody. It's going to be real fun. I'm planning on bringing some point shoes to throw at somebody. And then Thursday night, I have Maxwell on Movies, Music, and Mayhem, and we'll be going for it'll probably just be him and I for the first 90 minutes to 2 hours, and then shit will hit the fan. All hell will break loose, and it will be amazing and so much fun.
I'm not saying I have an entourage, but that's also exactly what I'm saying.
I mean, yes. And then we've got.
I mean, it's just like sometimes. Just like,
drama of it. And then you can find us back here in 2 weeks on May the 3rd. Same time, same place. We'll pay attention. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram. We'll be posting everywhere for the shows. I'm so sad we only have 3 episodes left, but this has been an amazing time. Thank you guys for hanging out. And Max, did you say you wanted to do an awkward dance-off?
Let's go.
All right. Yeah, we can't play music, so it'll get us shut down. But awkward dance-off, awkward dance-off, awkward